I just had a video banned. Don't know why, as it wasn't offensive, unless you're a conspiracy theorist who doesn't like the truth. So I'm going to talk about that video's subject again, addressing the many spurious videos out there claiming the Vatican removed 14 books from the Bible in 1684. I don't care what spooky video with spooky music you watched. The actual verifiable history disproves it. Now, I'm not Catholic, but the Vatican, it's an easy scapegoat for people to toss a conspiracy theory on. Not that they don't deserve it with all the raging abuse cover-ups, but the claim the Vatican removed 14 books from the Bible in 1684 is patently false. How do we know? Those removed books are still in the Catholic Bible. So I'm gonna break it down for those in the back and add a big reveal at the end of this video. In the Protestant, Orthodox, and Catholic faiths, the New Testament consists of 27 books. But for the Old Testament, the Catholic Church recognizes 46 books, Eastern Orthodox 49 books, and Protestants only 39. So if anyone removed books from the Bible, it ain't the Catholics, it was Protestants who took books out of their translation of the Bible. There's no conspiracy behind it. It's how religions and translations and canonization works. Religions don't exist in a vacuum, and you might not like it, but what is accepted as canon does change. And what silly conspiracy videos do is take advantage of well-meaning people's poor understanding of church history and what the Bible actually is, a collection of sacred stories, poetry, prophecies, apocalyptic literature, and instructions that are holy to multiple religious traditions. That's right, Protestants. We don't own the Bible. And faith traditions, Catholic, Eastern Orthodox, and Protestant, that use the Bible as their source text do differ on what they accept as biblical canon. And the Catholic Church has never removed books from its Bible in its entire formal history. But Protestant translators and publishers did remove books, deuterocanonical books of the Old Testament that were only present in Greek in the Septuagint, but never in Hebrew, the Masoretic texts, when landing on their canon. Why? Because some of these books made reference to things that made Protestants uncomfortable, like Baruch mentioning God hears the prayers of the dead, the Book of Wisdom teaching the pre-existence of souls, Tobit teaching works can save you, and something akin to purgatory mentioned in Maccabees. Also, these books were written during the intertestamental period, a time Protestants teach as the Age of Silence, a period of about 400 years between Malachi and John the Baptist, where God wasn't believed to have spoken to the Jewish people. But that's arguable for sure, because if there were books being written during this time, that means God might have been speaking to his people. But there's a narrative we Protestants, we gotta maintain. In 1534-35, during the Protestant Reformation, Martin Luther published his version of the Bible, the first major edition to have a separate titled Apocrypha, and he placed those books he considered questionable into a separate intertestamental section. But they weren't removed. They were just categorized differently. But during the British Puritan Revolution and British Civil Wars of the 1600s, the whole idea of sola scriptura, scripture alone, brought a different way of looking at canon in the Protestant faith. And the Westminster Confessions of Faith excluded the Apocrypha from the canon because it wasn't divine. But most people still considered it worthy for teaching in history. I mean, ever wonder how the whole need for a Messiah came about, the vicious Roman takeover of Judea and its subsequent rebellion, where Hanukkah came from? But by the 18th century, Bibles printed by English Protestants who separated from the Church of England began excluding these books, and in 1885, mainly because of printing costs, the authorized KJV stopped including the Apocrypha because it wasn't canon, so therefore not necessary, and that was that. But these books aren't hidden or mysterious, and you won't get in trouble for owning them. Shoot, you can go to my profile link right now and find them on Amazon. The Apocrypha are still included in the lectionaries of Anglican and Lutheran churches. Anabaptists use the Luther Bible, which still contains the Apocrypha. Amish wedding ceremonies include the retelling of the marriage of Tobias and Sarah from the Apocrypha, and the Revised Common Lectionary, used by Methodists and Moravians, lists readings from the Apocrypha in its calendar. But here's another juicy treat most Protestants don't know. When Martin Luther set up his intertestamental section, he wanted to yank out 4 canonized New Testament books. That's right, 4. Hebrews, James, Jude, and that good old end-time favorite, Revelation. That's right, the father of the Protestant Reformation disputed those books' apostolic authority, and in Luther's translation of the Bible, he actually put them in a separate section. The idea obviously didn't catch on, much to the relief of end-time aficionados everywhere. Now, if you're wondering how I know all this stuff, I actually teach a class, and I'd love it if you joined us. So, if you're interested in the Apocrypha or in the pseudo-epigraphical works such as the books of Enoch, Jubilees, and Giants, I'm doing an in-depth online workshop on these texts and their far-reaching impact on church history, even to the present day. And oh yeah, did I mention I'll be providing downloadable copies of all of those texts for the class? I thought you might like that. And this workshop will be live streamed on Sunday, October 23rd and 30th at 3 p.m. Eastern. It is available on a sliding donation scale from $5 to $25, with all proceeds going to our registered UK charity, The Gathering Place, benefiting abused women and at-risk kids. All you have to do is check my links and sign up. Let's shut the conspiracies down and get to the truth. See you soon.